All right, question number 2A says simplify completely. And we have 3p squared multiplied by 4p to the 5th power. So this would be, I multiply what? 3 times 4 times p squared times p to the 5th. So I multiply the numbers, 3 4s, we have 12. Now p, this is p squared multiplied by p to the 5th. Now, if you're multiplying from the law of indices and the base is the same, you must add the indices. So my final answer is going to be 12p to the 7. All right, down here, we are doing algebraic fraction, and we're dividing fractions. So whenever you're dividing fractions, you write back the first fraction, 3x over 4y to the 3rd. Change the division sign to multiplication and invert. We have 20y squared all over 21x squared. So let's cancel. 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 21 is 7. 4 into 4, 1. 4 into 20 is 5. That's the numbers. Now x goes into x squared, x times. Y squared goes into y cubed, y times. Now, when nothing else can cancel, you're going to multiply numerator by numerator. So in the numerator, we have 1 times 5, which is 5. And in the denominator, we have 1 times y times 7x. So we have 7xy. So our final answer here is 5 over 7xy. All right, this is a nice little question. There are 2 ways you could do it. One way you could do it is this. This is algebraic fraction. One way you could do it is, now the first thing we're going to do is an equation with fractions. And the first thing you need to do when you have an equation with fractions is to get rid of the fractions. In this case, there are 2 ways you could have done it. But the most common way is to find the LCM, use the LCM, and then discard the LCM. The LCM is an expression that both x and 7x minus 1 can go into without leaving a remainder. All right, so the LCM here is going to be x multiplied by 7x minus 1. So that is like, imagine if you had something like 3 over, I'm not saying that this is what you had, 3 over a plus 1 over b. The LCM here would be a multiplied by b. The case that we are working on is similar to that one what I just typed. It's similar, but instead of a over b, sorry, a and b for the denominators, what I have is 7x minus 1, which is a difference. And whenever you're multiplying a difference, you always put it in brackets. So our LCM is x multiplied by 7x minus 1. That is our LCM. So next I'm going to say, now I'm going to use the LCM. I'm going to say 7x minus 1 into the LCM is x. 7x goes into the LCM, x times. So I'm going to multiply x by the numerator. X times 3 is 3x plus x into the LCM is 7x minus 1. I'm going to multiply that by the numerator. So it's 1 multiplied by 7x minus 1. And this is equal to 1 into the denominator is x multiplied by 7x minus 1. You multiply that by the numerator, which is 0. And you get what? 0. So I found the LCM. I use the LCM. Next, I'm going to discard the LCM. Discarding the LCM means going forward. I go forward without the LCM. So we have 3x plus 1 into 7x minus 1 is equal to 0. I'm going to remove the bracket by applying distributive law. We have 3x plus 7x minus 1 is equal to 0. 3x plus 7x is 10x. Negative 1 on the left goes over to the right and become positive. And the last step is to divide both sides by the number in front of x, which is 10. So what we end up with is x is equal to 1 over 10. That's one way you could have done the question. Here's another way, very quickly. Starting out with what? 3 over 7x minus 1 plus 1 over x is equal to 0. What I could have done is, I guess I could have done this. 3 over 7x minus 1 is equal to minus 1 over x. Positive 1 over x to the left goes over to the right and become negative. Now, if I have one fraction is equal to one fraction, and I want to get rid of the fraction, what I can do is I can cross multiply. So I'm going to have 3 times x is 3x is equal to minus 1 multiplied by 7x minus 1. Next, I'm going to remove the brackets by applying distributive law. I have 3x is equal to minus 7x. A negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 1 is 1. Next, I'm going to put all x's on one side and all numbers on the other side. So negative 7x on the left goes over to the right and become positive. So I have 3x plus 7x is equal to 1. 3x plus 7x is 10x. 10x is equal to 1. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 10. And in both cases, the answer is x is equal to 1 over 10. All right, moving on. All right. So this says when x is multiplied by 2, the result is squared to give a new number y. I says express y in terms of x. So let's do that over. It says when x is multiplied by, when a number x is multiplied by 2, if you multiply x by 2, you're going to get 2x. And it says is multiplied by 2, the result is 2x is then squared. So when we multiply x by 2, the result, which is 2x, is then squared. So we square 2x. It gives a new number, y. So when we do this, we get a new number, and that number is y. Then we're asked now to write, y in terms of x. Well, y in terms of x is this, but if I want, I could simplify it by saying 2x all squared is 2x times 2x. And then I can say 2 2s 4, y is equal to 4, x times x is x squared. So that is what the examiner meant for you to do. It says determine 2 values of x that satisfy the equation y is equal to x, and the equation derived in CI. So the equation derived in CI is y is equal to 4x squared. And this equation is y is equal to x. So what we're being asked to do is we're being asked to solve this simultaneous equation. So if we're going to solve this, y at the top and y at the bottom is the same. So at the top we have what? Y is 4x squared, and at the bottom we have y is what? X. What we're being asked to do is to solve this equation. Not difficult to do. I would bring over the x. This is a quadratic equation. And the first step in solving a quadratic equation is to ensure that one side of the equation is equal to 0. So we have 4x squared minus x is equal to 0. I'm going to factorize. I have 4x squared minus x is equal to 0. X is common. So I'm going to factor that out. Now, x into 4x squared is 4x. X into x is 1. And that is equal to 0. All I did was to factorize the expression. Now, if I'm multiplying, I'm multiplying x multiplied by 4x minus 1, and I'm getting 0. Now, if you're multiplying two numbers and you're getting 0, it is either the first number x is equal to 0, or the second number 4x minus 1 is equal to 0. Here, 4x is equal to 1. If I divide both sides by 4, I'm going to get that x is equal to 0, or x is equal to 1 over 4 are the values of x that satisfy both equations simultaneously.